Today, before we get into the Word, I have a special time that I want to share with you guys. We just spent the past several weeks in a mini sermon series titled "Gather to Transform Lives," and we were looking at different passages in the book of Acts to really understand why we're gathered here together. Our purpose here really is first and foremost to worship and glorify God, and secondly, to transform lives. To transform lives here inside the church by raising disciples, and transform lives outside the church by making disciples. Today, I have a special announcement that for the first time since our history, we are going to be sending out one of our members for a long-term missions to Thailand. This will be the first time that Gospel City is commissioning one of its members, and we will be a sending church to this member. And what does that mean for us to be a sending church? Well, it means several things. First, it means that we're going to support this member in prayer, continually updating the church on what has been going on with her missions, her efforts and works, and continuing to support her efforts in prayer. Two, it's going to be with financial support. On some level with the church, and even through members who want to help her in her missions. We want to be able to financially support the work that she's about to endeavor in. Third, we want to do community care. This person will be outside of our church for a good number of years, but we still want to be her community. So that means whenever she comes home on sabbaticals, whenever she reaches out, we want to be that community that cares for her, loves her, encourages her in the work that she is doing. And so I want today to introduce to you Anne, and she's going to come up and just share her story and her heart for the nation of Thailand. So let's welcome her up.
Hello. So my name is Anne, and I'd like to begin my story in January 2012, a few months after I arrived in Korea. This all began one Sunday when I first heard a pastor speak about an unreached people group called Isan. At that moment, I felt that God moved me in an unusual way. And then in the following months, it slowly dawned on me that he was calling me to be a missionary among the Isan people. But at the time, I was mostly trying not to panic because, for one, until then, I had never thought of becoming a missionary. And also because I was very broken from a number of personal tragedies that had shattered my life. On top of everything else, I was still frail from a severe illness that had twice driven me to the brink of death. So, although the sense of calling was undeniable, it seemed like a ridiculous proposition. And yet, God continued to stir my heart in strange ways that in November 2012, I dedicated my life to obey his call. Simultaneously, I reached a strong conviction it was God's will for me to wait in Korea until he tells me to go. So suddenly, I found myself looking to stay here indefinitely, and life became even more uncertain. In the end, it took me exactly 10 years of waiting until I discerned it was time. Looking back, I recognize that there are countless ways God has prepared me for what I'll face in Thailand. Being part of international communities that are transient nonstop, I could never get quite comfortable or complacent in my faith walk. I learned to be more flexible and resilient with the ever-changing circumstances. And I don't believe this would have been possible had I remained in the US all these years. Since I began my mobilization phase, my aim has been to ensure that I'm spiritually, emotionally, and physically fit for the mission field. During this time, I joined the staff as an intern as well to receive practical training on ministry leadership. My main involvements have included leading a community group and overseeing the prayer ministry. From November 2022, I began regularly meeting with Pastor Sean and Pastor Shin to receive guidance and support every step of the way. They have been journeying with me as I pursued mobilization. And as Sean shared, Gospel City will be my official sending church. I joined Gospel City almost 10 years ago when it began as a house church. Having grown together with this community, it's truly an immense honor for me. Next, I'm also privileged to announce OMF as my sending agency. OMF was founded 160 years ago by J. Hudson Taylor, who was an early missionary to China. This is an international agency that's always maintained a sharp focus on unreached people groups in Asia. OMF will provide thorough support and accountability in every aspect of my missionary endeavors. To introduce the context, Isan is the northeastern region of Thailand in orange on the map. It's roughly the size of Greece or the state of Wisconsin, if you're familiar. The people of this land, also called Isan, are ethnically Lao folks who have always been marginalized in Thai society. This is one of the most unreached people groups remaining, and on average, it takes an Isan person 10 years to become a committed disciple of Christ. There are a lot of obstacles in coming to faith and remaining in faith in this culture. Local churches are often comprised of a handful of people that gather with little resources, and it would be an understatement to say that there's a dire need for more workers in Isan. Over the years, God has grown in me a special love for the people of Isan to proclaim Christ to them. I have hopes to participate in the work of God through intercessory prayer, discipleship, and partnership building. Lord willing, I'm expected to be commissioned in January next year for long-term service. Gospel City, as I embark on this journey, I'd like to ask you to prayerfully consider joining me in partnership. My primary need is prayer support, and you can sign up for newsletters to receive updates. And if you want to first learn more, I'd be happy to find a time to talk with you. Or if you want to connect to share your heart for missions or just a fellowship, I'd love to find a time as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. And as you know, one of the things we covered in the book of Acts is that missions, those who are called to really leave home, go overseas and share the gospel, it looks like an individual mission, but it really is not. It is supported and encouraged by the local church. And so, church, I want to invite you today to come alongside Anne and be a partner with her in the work of sharing the gospel in Thailand. There's several ways you can do it. As Anne mentioned, the first way is to be a prayer partner, to get on her mailing list, to see, to hear what's going on, where she needs prayer. Two is financial support. There's two ways you can give. On our Give website, there's a way for you to give a one-time donation to help just support the cost of her preparation and going overseas. You can also become a monthly supporter for Anne as well. In which case, if you do want to go that route, we ask that you contact Anne individually through her email so that you can go through OMF for sending agency to go through the proper channels of doing monthly support while she's gone. So these are the ways that we want to come behind her and just support her on this mission. Why don't we also spend a time in prayer for her right now as well? So if you